there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to talk about some of the possible reasons why that craft came down in Las Vegas back in 2023. As I talk about this case a lot, as everyone knows, and we're going to talk about it again. And there's some different kinds of theories that people have with regard to it. And we're going to go through some of those theories. Not all of them. I'm sure there'll be some other people out there that have other ideas. And they could be shared in the comments if anybody wants to share those ideas about what they think happened here. However, we're going to talk about that. But first, before we even do, I just want to say that recently I've received a lot of new subscribers. And basically it was because of an episode I did a couple of weeks ago. It seems like the episode where that it was entitled Escape from Las Vegas. A lot of people have subscribed to the channel because of that episode, and I see that there's a lot of those people are also looking at some of the older episodes where I talked about this case as well. And most of the comments I've received, there have been an overwhelming number of comments from different people now, and a lot of people are very enthusiastic about the evidence that was presented in that episode, as well as some of the older episodes where I talked about this case. But there have been some that can't see anything. They can't see the aliens. So before we get started, I put together a little show here, a little presentation where I tried to help these people. So check this out. Okay, what we have on the screen right now is the actual original 1 minute and 41 second long video that was filmed by the Kenmore family around midnight on May 1st of 2023. Of course, as we all know, an object fell from the sky just before midnight on April 30th, 2023, and it came down into Las Vegas, and it just happened to land in the backyard of the Kenmore family. And right now, they're about to get chased out of the yard by some sort of an alien. Right there. I'm going to pause it for a second there, just so we could look at this closely. Okay, you'll notice in between their heads here, right before they start backing out of the yard, you'll see some movement. I'll just play that again. Right there, right? And now I'll just play a real quick little segment that Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert from Ohio, who runs the evidence room, he when he first talked about this was the first discovery that he made in the video, was this movement toward them. There was like some sort of a head moving toward them, as you could see in this little segment that I'm showing right now. You could see there was something there. And we talked about this in June of 2023. He actually came on the show, and actually that's the video that I'm using is the same video that Scott Roeder used for his analysis. He sent this to me in June of 2023, and actually I want to pull something up on the screen here just to show you. I want to show you the properties here. You can see this is the same video I use for all the analysis that I do on this video is from this same video that was obtained by Scott Roeder in June of 2023 that Angel Kenmore had uploaded. This, of course, as everyone remembers who has been following this, Scott Roeder and his team, they determined that the video was authentic. That there was no CGI used, and so it was, and there were real entities in the yard. He actually made that determination later on. But as you can see, it was from June 19th, 2023, since I've had this file in my computer. So I just wanted to point that out as well. Anyway, getting back to the video. Right there, you can see the creature just appeared above the fence as well, and I've talked about this many times. It seems like it slides in on, like if it was on roller skates almost. It just, the way it just comes gliding into the frame real quick. There it is. You can see it above the fence right there. There it is right there. And also left it, you can see its shadow filled in the slots in the fence there. It filled in when it comes in, when it came into view. You can notice that. A lot of people talk about shadows. Mick West likes to talk about shadows, but He also forgets that there was a lot of other things going on here in this video besides just the creature above the fence. Right, you see the slots of the fence got filled in with whatever's behind there. This is the top of its head right there. And of course, this image right here is something that I've been showing on my channel many times now. This image, this still image of the creature above the fence, its head. I have it circled here. You can see that it looks like an alien face, just as described by the witnesses. Anyway, let's continue with this video. Now they're scared, or they don't know what's going on. They just got chased out of the yard by something. They all have guns. Luckily, they didn't use them. Who knows what would have happened if they would have used them? Nobody can really say. And they're standing around talking about it for a little bit here. The father describes what he just saw. He talks about the big head and the big eyes. That's what he's doing right now. And then he goes back and he reopens the gate, and the wife, Contra, she continues filming this stuff. And about a minute and 10 seconds into it, right, coming up right here, this is where this one little creature pops up later on. I want to just show you this. Right around there. This is where UB, I call him UB, he pops up. You can't really see him really good here, right? This is what happened here. So Scott Roeder, we were talking about the creature that scared them out of the yard. We he was able to determine that there was some movement there. And then last year in late March, we talked about the face above the fence. One of my subscribers, Julia June from New York, had contacted me and said I need to be looking above the fence after they get chased out of the yard because something appears there. And she sent me a still image of that face that we were just looking at. So we made a presentation, Vindication Day, and we talked about that this proves it. I mean, there's no question now that we could prove now that there's aliens in this backyard. That these people, this was not a hoax or anything like that for sure. But it wasn't any sort of, they weren't scared over nothing. There was actually creatures in the yard. So after that presentation, Vindication Day, which was April 2nd of 2024 when we did that episode, after that, we just kept on looking at this video, seeing if we could find other things in there. And we did find other things in there, including this little guy right here. And we'll just play this out and talk about this as it goes. But this is where that little guy shows up right there. And there's also a taller one standing right in front of the heavy equipment right back there. It's hard to see it right now because this is just a raw video. It's not slowed down. There's nothing, it's not really zoomed in. But there's something standing right here too. And there were creatures in the cab, as I pointed out as well. This could be something that was standing back here. There's just a lot of different anomalies that show up in this video when you take a closer look at it. But for the purposes of this episode, I want to stick with the little creature that I'm talking about. This one I like to call the undeniable backbreaker. Here, this is in a loop. You could see him if you're watching there. I have a big arrow pointing down at his head. You can see this little creature's right in there. See him? That's what I call him, UB, the undeniable backbreaker, because there's no way anyone's ever going to be able to debunk this. You can't debunk it. It's solid. And here's a close up of this UB. This is one I did this video. It's all shaky and everything right here. It's hard to get your bearings on it, but I do have a stabilized version that I'm going to pull up on the screen here in a minute. But that was you can't deny this thing, right? I mean, I had this video sitting in my computer for like a year at least. I think around a year, and I couldn't see. I wasn't seeing aliens too either. Maybe a lot of people just weren't seeing them. But here, there's absolutely no question about it. This is your classic alien. This is your classic. What do you call it? A short gray. I think it is. That's what my opinion is that this is a short gray. Now, something that I did do. This was. We're gonna pull something up here. This was back in. I guess last year sometime. There's an AI program on that's part of my video editing program. I use Cyberlink to edit my videos, and I was able to create an animated version of this UB. I stabilized it. I zoomed in on that area where that head shows up, and I was able to stabilize it. And then what I did was I took that little video, it's about 10 seconds worth of footage. It was slowed down a little bit so we can get a better look at it. And I created this AI version, and this is the AI version. Now, also, I want to point out that I do believe that this is something. And this is the original on the right-hand side. I believe that there was a creature standing over here that was a taller sort of a creature next to UB. You can't really see UB right now. He's in this area right here, right? But you will see him appear as I play this video. And actually, if you look at the AI animated version, it actually puts an eye here, where I do think that this could be an eye of a different creature. But I don't want to confuse people here. I just want to focus on what you're going to see appear in this area right here. So let me just play this and check this out. Okay, now let me just pause it there for a second. Now it's starting to form. You could actually see there's some sort, they're using some sort of a cloaking technology. This was something that was established by Scott Roeder and his team. There was no explanation for this, but they were able to cloak themselves somehow. And that's why they seem to be phasing in and out of reality. But right here in the original, you can see that it started, you could see something behind this cloak that's in front of it. It's blurry and everything, but yeah, there's something there because you can see, make out an eye here, an eye here. And even the AI animated version, the first one I did last year, that's recognizes that too. But let me just play it out here. And then right there, then it pops into view. You can see it pretty clearly. Right here, you can see this is your classic gray alien, and the AI animated version sees the same thing I'm seeing, sees the same thing that a lot of people who have been following my channel here have been seeing as well. So I noticed recently that there were some people who, it seems like I got a lot of new subscribers recently, and it was because of the recent video that I did, the recent podcast where I was talking about this case again, and they're having trouble seeing it, just like people in the past have had trouble seeing it. But I hear I'm trying to help you out so you could see what we're talking about here. And you'll see it turns its head here. We play it, continue there. It turned its head, and then it throws its head back, right, and it becomes all blurry again. Now I did this again, just with another. I created another animated version. The first one we were just watching, that was called the classic AI anime. The one that I'm using now is a different. It's a different one. It's called Subtle. It was a subtle version. So now it recreated it again, and watch this. It sees it, and even no matter which way I did this, it seems like it captures. It sees this alien face. I'm not giving it any instructions there. Right? Let me just pause there. You can see the AI recognizes that yes, there's a face here, and this is what the face looks like to the AI, like a little gray alien. Let me just play it out, and there it throws its head back. You can see there. On the original version, you could see the eyes still, and you can see like a little O here where the mouth is, like in a. But now the AI version didn't pick up on the mouth in this version, but still it recognizes that there's something there. Now here's both of those back to back in slower motion, and we could just check this out as we go through it. I'll talk about things as what we're seeing here. Of course, on the original side, you can see it as blurry, this little gray creature, but then it gets really blurry, but then you see it, right? Then you see it, and then it turns its head. The AI animated version is seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. It's going to turn its head here in a second. And then it turned its head, and then it threw its head backward, like it was in surprise, like it was surprised by that it was getting filmed and was trying to get out of there. Now here's the other AI version right beside the original version. There's the creature, turns its head. You can see the AI version here. Look at that. There's no question about it, folks. This case, this proves it. There's no doubt about this. Yeah, we're just going to go back and forth here with this AI. Like you see the AI version on the left here. This is the most recently created AI version that I made. Again, I didn't provide any instructions to the computer, to the program whatsoever. I just provided this little snippet from the video, and this is what it gave me. So it's the computer seeing it too, right? If the computer sees it, why I don't understand why some other people are having trouble seeing this. But look at look at this. We'll go back and forth really slow here. Look at this. Look at that. It sees it. It looks just like a gray alien. And it recognizes when it's thrown its head back, too. Yeah, it looks like the creature got surprised, realized it was getting filmed, and then, like, its head gets thrown back. That's just I could be wrong about that. Who knows what's going on here. But the bottom line is there's an alien creature here. Very, very, I think, to me, it's very clear, right? Now, standing right over to the left here, there's another being. And we're going to talk about that one next. Okay, this one here, I did this is another one that I created an AI version, and again the AI version recognizes that that there was something there, that this was the face of something, right? There's an eye here, an eye here. This is like a semi-profile. This is its mouth area right here. You can actually see its mouth moving when I play this. It's very strange. You can see its mouth going up and down. Like this is actually in a loop as well. I wanted to try to. get a good example of it. Actually, this is the same one. Okay, this is the same one that when you put it side by side with one of the drawings that was supplied via the Allagash 4 incident from 1976, it looks like the same kind of creature. Okay, but I want to talk about this creature a little bit because, okay, these right here on the screen right now are two different drawings. The drawing on the left is one that was drawn by the father, Bobby Kenmore, and they presented these drawings during an episode of Inside Edition that was aired in September of 2023. And then on the right is one that was drawn by Angel. Now, he said that the tall creature that he saw, not only it had some kind of a weird light shining next to its head, he didn't know what that was all about, but he said it looked like one of its legs was broken, that it was bending the wrong way, okay? And you can see he actually showed it right here. It shows that the left leg of this creature, to our right, is bent in a weird way. Now, when you here's a view of what he was talking about here. This is the same creature, I believe, standing up right here. I'm just going to play this as we talk about it. This is in a loop as well, but you could see here, this looks like this could be the bent left leg of the creature. And actually here, if you look on the bottom, it looks like it's standing on toes. You can see its feet, one of its feet right here on the bottom there. And it looks like it's moving its right arm up, and you can actually see its left arm moving here. You can see it's moving, looks like it moves in a downward fashion, but you can see like the outline of the left arm right here, and it's moving in a downward fashion. You can see the right arm popping up, and then you can see the bent leg right here. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, right here is, I think that this is what Angel was talking about. I mean, you could see it. Now, of course, there's a cloak in front of it. It's blocking out. You can't really see it as good as you would want to, right? Obviously, they're doing something to prevent from being seen, from being filmed, whatever, right? Obviously, they were doing something because this should be clearer, but it's not. But at least we see it, right? At least we see it, right? And again, I think this is what Angel was talking about. This is probably the one that he saw, because you can see the bent leg right here. And it looks like this is the right foot holding itself up, and it's leaning up against this front loader. And so that's what I think. And then here's a still image of that. I just want to get it so you get a better look at it. Yeah, I think that this you can't, like, you can see part of its chest right here, but then it disappears in this haze, right? But you can still make out some things here, like right here. It looks like that could be a bent leg. And then here's 4 images side by side, 4 different clips, separate clips, and you can see it. Like, I think this is a foot. That's its right foot, bent left leg, bent left leg, bent left leg. You can see the creature's face. You can see its right arm lifted up in the 3rd frame over, as well as in the 4th frame. So I think, if to understand this story, you gotta accept the reality that what really happened here involved actual non-human intelligent beings, and I think this is the best way to try to prove it. I mean, this case proves it. This ends any debate that we had about this. There's no debating this anymore. I mean, there were just too many elements to this case, and as you can see in these videos and in these images, I mean, there's more than enough examples. I'm not even showing them all here. There's so many different things that I've discovered over the past year and a half looking at this video, studying this video, and I'm sure that there's more things to find as well. But there's no question about it, folks. There's something here. And one more thing, I want to get back to the UB, the undeniable backbreaker, for one more moment here. I want to present a couple of other images here. If you still weren't convinced, I want to just pull up some more images on that. Okay, on the left is the original UB, right? The original little short gray alien that I like to talk about a lot. This is a still image, and in the middle here, I outlined him and colored in his eyes so you could see it better. And then in the far right image, I completely colored it in with the blue, and then this so you can see what we're talking about here. And then I also did it with some of the other images. Here's the image. Here's a still image from when UB throws his head back. Okay, and you can see it reveals not only you can still see his eyes, they're not as strongly, but you can still see where they are, and you can also see an area where I believe his mouth is. And here I colored it in so you can see it better. There's a colored in version. And then this, I've totally colored it in. So that's what we're talking about here. There's the original, right? You seeing it? Are you seeing it yet? Are you still having problems? If you are, maybe you need to get your eyes checked or something. I don't know, or maybe your mind's just shutting it out because you can't deal. You're not ready for it yet. That's the only thing I could think of. I can't. After all the stuff I've been talking about here with regards to these images from this video, if people can't see see the aliens by this point, I don't know what to do. I mean, I've tried. I've done everything I could. I think. I'm sure that there's other people out there who could do a lot more, but I've done what I could, and I'm just. This is. I think that as far as I'm concerned, right, this proves that we're not alone. You take in the totality of all the evidence associated with this case, and there's just no question about it, folks. I mean, we have the absolute proof that shows that we are not alone. There's absolutely no question about it. There's no arguing this any longer. It's a done deal, folks. It's a done deal. And when you think about this, the weird things with regard to the craft coming down from the sky, all of the weird anomalies with regard to that, and then you also think about the reactions of the family. They call 911. You don't do that if you're trying to pull off some sort of a hoax. You're not going to pull a hoax like this. You're just not going to do it. This really happened, and they have the evidence that backs up what they were saying, as you see right here, very clearly. There's no question about it. This proves that aliens are real. There's no wiggling out of this one. I know there's a lot of debunkers out there. Mick West is trying to tell people that these things that we're looking at are shadows or they're raccoons or coyotes. I mean, this is no raccoon, it's no coyote, and it's certainly not a shadow. Basically, there are folks out there who are gaslighting the world, and they continue to gaslight the world. That's just the way it is, folks, unfortunately. So there you go. So now let's talk about what happened here. Why did it come down? So this is basically a prequel to the other episode that I just recently did called Escape from Las Vegas. How did they get out of there? What happened? Right? We talked about that already. How did they get in there, though? That's what we're going to talk about this time. Why did that thing come crashing down from the sky the way it did? Now, the theory that I've been, hanging my hat on, the prevailing theory as far as I'm concerned, is that they just simply had some sort of a technical malfunction, and that's what they needed to make an emergency landing. What's not clear is was that their main craft, or was that some sort of an ejection pod that did something happen to the main craft they were flying around in, and they all had to jump into some sort of a pod or some sort of an impossible umbrella of some sorts, and that's what brought them that's what we see falling from the sky in all those videos of the alleged, quote, meteor, end quote, right? Or was it the main craft? We can't say. That's all guesswork. I've heard people say no, they think it was an escape pod. That could be the case. I don't know. Maybe there was some other craft that got damaged from something. Maybe it was hit by a meteor. Maybe they're outside Earth's atmosphere and some meteor rammed into their main craft, and they all had to jump into some sort of an escape pod, and that's what we see flying through the sky and eventually touching ground in Las Vegas. Maybe that's what it was. It was just some mere technical issue, or maybe it was just a technical issue with the craft itself. Nothing happened, just something went wrong with the craft that they were in, and the craft needed to make an emergency landing, or maybe they had to jump into an escape pod to make that landing. We really can't say, but one way or the other, right? Something came down. Something caused that craft to come down. I think the prevailing theory is that the best theory is that something went wrong with the craft that they were in, and that was what came down from the sky, or they jumped in some sort of an ejection pod, and that's what we see falling from the sky. And it was just a technical issue that had nothing to do with human beings or meteors or whatever. It could have been just something went wrong technically, and that's why it came down. Now, another theory is that maybe our military shot it down. Maybe that's what caused this craft to come down from the sky. Maybe, and it could be almost in the same kind of scenario. Where could it be that was the actual craft that got shot down that we see falling from the sky, and that's why it came down. That's why we see it dropping through the sky the way it did. Or it could have been an escape pod. Maybe the main craft was damaged in a way that it was going to crash, and that's what we see this escape pod. That's what all those creatures all jumped into some sort of escape pod, and that's what brought it down. I don't believe this one, and I'll tell you why. Is because now there was a report that came from Nellis Air Force Base that was reported to the American Meteorological Society about seeing a meteor. I don't think that the military was aware of this, because if they had been aware of this, right, they would have been on at that property that night like flies on molasses. I mean, if you read the literature with regard to UFO crashes, like the book from Leonard Stringfield, UFO crashes, or excuse me, UFO crash retrievals. He did this great, put this all these reports together over the decades about UFO crashes. When these things happen, it seems like the military knows about it. I mean, they're the ones with the radar. They're the ones, that act when these things happen. You look at the 1965 Kecksburg, Pennsylvania incident. I mean, before anybody knew it, they saw this object coming down from the sky, landed in some bushes, some trees near this small town called Kecksburg. In this small town called Kecksburg, and before anyone knew it, the military was there, and they got everyone out of there, and nobody was allowed to go near it. And apparently they put something on a flatbed truck, and it was taken away. That's why I don't think the military knew about this that night. I mean, they called 911 up, and the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, it took them about an hour to respond. I would have to imagine if the military, if they would have known about this, if they would have known that something came down from the sky like this, they would have been acting right away. They obviously did not. So I do not believe the military had anything to do with this initially. At least initially, or the secret control group. The Pentagon, I don't believe, was involved with this early on. They did not know about it, or we would never have known about this story. If the military had shot that object down, if the military was responsible for that object coming down from the sky, then we would never have heard about this story. Maybe 10 years from now, something would get leaked or something. But outside of that, we would not have known about it. And the other thing another reason why we wouldn't have known about this is because we see the video. I mean, the video was released within about a week or so. It was very shortly. Angel Kenmore uploaded that video to the internet, right? After this incident happened. Had the military or the Pentagon known about this, there's no way, no one would ever saw that video. That video would have been confiscated long before that. They would have been there like that night, and this thing would have been covered up, and nobody would have probably known about anything about with regard to it. Maybe just rumors, if that, right? So I don't think the military was responsible for shooting this down for all those kinds of reasons. I do believe that the secret control group got involved at some point after the fact, based on some of the rumors I've been hearing through the grapevine from a potential relative of this family. There's been people that were showing up at their house and demanding certain things, and I believe that. So after the fact, yeah, but not that night or the next day, not until a few days afterward. In the days that after that incident happened, there was Angel Kenmore and his brother, younger brother Joshua Kenmore, during an interview with the popular YouTuber Sherman back in March of 2024, they reported that some black car pulled up in front of their house right after this, a few days after this incident happened, and there were 3 guys inside the car that looked exactly the same, and all of them were wearing sunglasses, and they all turned their head and looked at them and then turned their heads forward again, and the car drove away. Well, who was that? Was that government agents? Was it alien agents? Nobody knows, but it was, something weird was going on there. There was interest I'm certain by the secret control group when they learned about this, and that's why you don't really hear much from the family these days. They realize, oh boy, this is people can't know about this. We need to try to cover this up. We need to hush this whole thing up. So I don't think the military was involved. I don't think they were responsible for bringing that craft down. So what else could it possibly be? Now, about a year ago, one of my subscribers, this is a person who contacts me in emails every now and then, and this was the most craziest idea that I heard. And here's the thing, we don't know, right? We really don't know, but I'm going to tell you this one anyway because it was a lot of fun, I think. Basically, he was saying that what it could possibly be is that maybe these beings were just having a fun time, and they're so advanced that they're able to ride on meteors. Yeah, maybe that's the way they get their amusement, the same way that people like us go to amusement parks and get on roller coasters and all those other crazy rides. Maybe the aliens, that's just too primitive for them. Maybe they try to do some more kinds of, maybe they're more interested in more daring sorts of activities to amuse themselves. And he was suggesting that maybe they have the ability to latch onto a meteor and ride it through the sky. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe something went wrong on this meteor ride, and that's what ended up causing some sort of a problem for them, and whatever, maybe it was a meteor, and that little bit. Remember, there was that one video we were talking about recently where you see the object in the sky and you see a smaller object next to it. Maybe they were in the smaller object next to it, and the other thing was a meteor after all, and that thing, they were riding along with the meteor, and something went wrong, and they got thrown into the backyard of the Kenmores. Now, I don't believe that, but that's what some people think. I mean, this one guy at least was saying that maybe they latch on to meteors for fun. I don't believe that one, but I think it was interesting to share. So I basically the two main things that could have happened here, as far as I'm concerned, is that just it was a malfunction and they needed to make an emergency landing. That's one of them. And then the second one would be they were shot down by our military, right? A third opinion, well, the other one would be the riding the meteors. I don't buy that one, but you never know, right? It doesn't make me right. Another idea would be that maybe it wasn't our military, maybe it was some other alien military, maybe some other alien force here that might be responsible, right? Who knows? Or it could be what Patrick Jackson talks about. He's someone who believes that what these orbs that we see in the sky, it's part of some global defense network that was put here by some other intelligence that's here to protect the planet from threats. And maybe that global defense network is what went into action that night, and that's what caused this craft to come down from the sky. Maybe when in that one video that we were just talking about, where you see the two objects in the sky at the same time, maybe that little object was one of those orbs, and it was causing that craft to come down because it viewed it as a threat to Earth, and maybe that's what happened. We just don't know, folks. But it's fun to talk about. It's fun to think about. It's fun to speculate about. Something brought the craft down. What was it? All we could do is speculate. It's a fascinating incident. It's the biggest story of all time. I know a lot of people out there don't realize this yet, but it is. There's no question about it. This is a story that should show everyone that we are most certainly not alone. I guess we have a lot of different questions, and all we could do is speculate about them. What happened after they landed in the yard? What caused it to crash in the first place? There's all these incredible things that we just don't know the answers to. What we can say for sure, right, is that something definitely weird happened that night. Something that involved a non-human intelligent race of beings. There's no question about it. We see them. They look just like when you look at the images of them, they look just like the descriptions of alien creatures that people have been talking about for decades. We have the evidence now. We have the proof that backs up all of these stories from the past. It's a done deal, folks. It's over. Like me and Scott Roeder like to say, it's over. It's been over for a while now. It's been over since April 2nd of 2024, since we did the Vindication Day episode. It's been over since that point, because at that point we were able to show once and for all, right, that we are not alone, and that there was no way that it wasn't a fake video, it wasn't a hoax video, and you put all of the evidence, all of the totality of all the evidence associated with this incident, it informs us that we are definitely not alone in the universe, and it's time for other people to get involved in this. More people in the scientific community need to be talking about this. And as I'm filming this, we're about 12 hours away from the hearing in Congress that's going to take place on Tuesday. So are they going to talk about this kind of stuff? No, we're going to hear about UFOs, sightings, secrets, people keeping secrets. We're not going to, I don't know, I can't wait to hear what George Knapp has to say, but we're not going to probably hear much more than that. We're not going to hear about this case. This is the case that proves it. There's no wiggling out of it, folks. And anybody that tells you so, that there's not enough evidence here, well, they're either lying or they're stupid. It's just A or B. There's nothing else you could say about it. Anyway, I just want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me today. Until next time.